Today we're going to be discussing what a 72-hour fall watch is. My name is Barry Doyle. I'm a lawyer in Skokie practicing nursing home abuse and neglect work throughout the state of Illinois. I'm also the author of Built to Fail, a free report available for download from my website, which spells out how the nursing home business model inevitably produces unnecessary injuries and deaths for nursing home residents. One of the big issues in the nursing home industry is falls, and falls can have serious long-term health consequences for nursing home residents. Most often, when falls occur, the effects of the fall are immediately apparent. There's fractures, there's bleeding, there's obvious signs of injuries, but many times there are also injuries that have a delayed onset. The most common type of injury that has a delayed onset would be a brain bleed, which happens frequently in falls, typically with nursing home residents who are on anticoagulant medications or blood thinners. Essentially what happens is that they have the fall, there's a bleed inside the skull, and the pressure from the bleed begins to manifest itself in neurologic changes for the resident. This requires careful monitoring over a several hour period after the fall occurs, which is why we have a 72-hour fall watch. Initially what happens is that there are checks that are done fairly frequently in the hours immediately following the fall, and as we get closer to the 72-hour mark, the frequency of those checks become less frequent, but each check needs to be documented, and if there are any signs of injury or signs of neurologic changes for the resident, then this is something that requires the doctor to be notified, and most often for the resident to be sent out to the emergency room for testing, typically a CT scan or an MRI of the brain to determine whether or not there is some type of bleeding. Fractures can also be identified late. Sometimes there are very subtle fractures, and with additional movement becomes a much more obvious debilitating type of fracture. So these are all reasons why in the hours following the fall there needs to be careful monitoring of a resident, and this is why we have a 72-hour fall watch. My name is Barry Doyle. I hope this has been interesting. If you have any questions regarding this or any other nursing home abuse and neglect matter, please feel free to reach out to us. Our phone number is 312-263-1080, or we can be reached on the internet at www.accidentlawillinois.com. Thank you for watching.